This is an excerpt from an episode of Tokyo Game Life, a gaming slice of life podcast from Japan. To hear the full episode, subscribe to Tokyo Game Life on your favorite podcast app. Check the description for details. All right, our feature this week is Pokemon card shopping in Tokyo and Japan. But I'm not alone this time. I have a special guest. So guest, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Grace and I go by Graceon. Online, I'm a Pokemon card collector based in Japan. I'm actually based in Yokohama. I do say Tokyo on my thing, but I am based in Yokohama and I've lived in Japan for about 6 years now, and the Tokyo area only for like a couple of years, and the other 4-ish in the Kansai, Osaka area. So I've been a little bit here and there all over Japan, and a big Pokemon fan, Pokemon card collector, and I love to share my collection online and share all the new products. I like to put little updates out as well about like what's coming out, and people are always like, oh my gosh, what is this? I can't read this. Yeah, a lot of people seem to like not be able to read it, which is fair enough, so it's in Japanese, so I try and translate some things as well for people. And Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm a very casual Pokemon card collector, so I thought I need an expert. So I thought, well, I need Graceon to help me out here.
Oh, I can't say I'm an expert, but I would definitely give you as much as I know and as good as I can.
Excellent. Let's start with, how did you get into collecting Pokemon cards?
That's the big question. Well, when I was little, I think I must have been about 8 or 9 years old when Pokemon first came out. Oh no, I must have been a little bit older than that. I'm not that old. I'm still old, but I'm not that old.
Right.
So my brother had these Pokemon cards, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I got more into the Pokemon cards than he did. This was like original base set. This was like fighting over a Charizard at 10 years old, kind of into Pokemon cards. And I'm from the UK, so I think we were maybe like a year behind Japan when it sort of came to the West, Pokemon. And it was that sort of big boom time where, you know, the playground was full of Pokemon cards and people fighting for them and all of that stuff. And my love of Pokemon just never really went away. I did have a break from collecting Pokemon cards when I first came to Japan, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but it was more to do with money than anything else. So making a big move to Japan, I didn't really have any money, and I was just sort of collecting little Pokemon items. So this was sort of Sun and Moon era. And I couldn't really afford to be like getting back into card collecting. So I was sort of admiring it from afar again at that stage. And so I had been collecting back in the UK, and I was like, oh, I could get into Japanese cards. Now I'm in Japan. And I just, as an English teacher at that stage, I was not getting paid enough to be getting into Pokemon cards in a serious way. So I sort of decided to, until I was more financially stable, to get back into that. And then the Sword and Shield era came, and I was more financially stable, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can become a serious collector again. I can go back to my Pokemon roots that I had in the UK and enjoy collecting properly again, and just never went back.
I also had a similar journey where, suddenly I got some money, so why not spend it on Pokemon cards?
Exactly. Why not? Why not? If you have money, why not just make it rain Pokemon cards? If it brings you joy, I don't see why not. And only if it's not like financially troubling to you. If it's a financial trouble, if it's a financial strain, I do not recommend Pokemon cards at all. Like, they're not, if you want to collect them, they are absolutely not an investment. Unless you're planning on selling them, in which case they can be, and you need to think carefully about what you're buying. But if you're just buying to collect and thinking in the future I can get money off this, not necessarily, as we don't know the future of Pokemon. It's the same with anything. You don't know about like NFTs. Are they going to be worth anything in the future? You can't say yes they are. So as an investment, questionable. But as a collector, enjoy it, love it, do your thing.
So what would you say is the major difference in terms of quality or appearance between Western and Japanese Pokemon cards?
That's a very good question. Obviously, language. And that's, I think that's a big stopper for some people who want to collect Japanese Pokemon cards, is they can't read them. They can't
Right.
sort of do anything with them. For me, here, because I like to play the game as well and play in tournaments, I can't collect English cards because I can't use them. It's not like legal to use cards from other languages in your deck. So even if
Hmm.
it's exactly the same card, if it's in another language, you can't use it. So for me, there's that use value as well.
Hmm.
And the interesting thing is there's no online trading card game for Pokemon in Japan. So
Hmm.
there's no code cards, there's nothing you can put in to play online with your friends. Everything is physical. So for me, having physical cards and being able to collect that is really important for playing the game as well.
Hmm.
Obviously, due
Right.
to COVID, I haven't played as much as I would like to, sadly, but that's sort of a big difference when it comes to the mechanics of the card. And then
Hmm.
obviously, there's quality. Now, I am a big advocate for the quality of Japanese cards, and a lot of other people are, and you can see the difference on how good quality the Japanese cards are. And
Hmm.
sometimes I see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, the English miscuts and the English like quality. So some of that is a little bit painful to look at. But I can say I've never had a horribly miscut Japanese card. I've had some like a little bit off center, but like I've never had one that's like half of a Pikachu and half of a Jigglypuff, which I have seen in English. And I'm like, how did that even get through the printer? How did that get through quality control? But Japanese, it won't get through quality control. It just won't. So the quality is a lot higher.
I think that's a very common sentiment. And especially for me, there's a big gap between my collecting, but I can tell the Japanese cards, they definitely look different and they definitely have a different sheen to them.
Absolutely. And there's one thing I will say, which sort of like, whenever I mention this, people are like, oh, yeah, the smell. So English cards have a smell. They smell cardboardy. And
Hmm.
Japanese cards do not. And I
Really?
don't know why, but maybe I'm very sensitive to like smells and sounds and things. I'm a little bit like oversensitive kind of person. And when I open a pack of English cards, I'm like, these smell like cards. But I don't smell anything when I open a Japanese pack of cards. And that is the weirdest thing. And once you notice it, you never unnotice it.
So in the West, booster packs are 10 cards, but in
Mm,
Japan, they're typically 5 cards, but they're cheaper.
yes.
So do you prefer the Western or Japanese style of Pokemon booster packs?
Ooh, this is another big difference as well. So, in a booster box for English, you don't know what you're getting at all. You
Hmm.
could get no super rare cards, no hyper rare cards, just like
Hmm.
a box of sadness that cost you $100.
Right.
Or in Japan, you definitely always, always, always get a super rare, a hyper rare, or an ultra rare card.
Hmm.
It is set in every box. And some have had two. Like it's happened once or twice where I've got like two super rares in one box, but you are guaranteed one. I mean, it might be a horrible card. It might be some trainer that you hate in a rainbow sheen that you're just like, oh God, why? But it is guaranteed in the box, whereas English it's not guaranteed. So I prefer that Japanese sort of guarantee. And I do prefer that there are only like 5 cards in a pack. I
Hmm.
don't know, it feels a little bit more like do. You can get through them very fast.
Right.
And I don't know, it's something nice. It's cheaper. I've got a little pack of Pokemon cards. I can go to the convenience store, pick some up, and I'm like, oh, I've just got a few little cards to enjoy. I don't need to like spend money to get a pack of Pokemon cards because they're so cheap. They're only maybe like $1. I think they're about 135 yen ish for a standard set. And, there you go. I've got some Pokemon cards to take home. Great. And it didn't cost me a lot. And I don't have a lot of junk that I don't want so much.
They're definitely like an easier impulse buy in Japan than in the West, I
Yes,
think.
very much so. You see them like on the other side of the counter of the convenience store, and you're like, yeah, get me a pack of those Pokemon cards as well as my coffee. Yeah, bring them on.
Is there a specific Japanese exclusive card that you will really like?
That is another big difference, isn't it, between English and Japanese, is the exclusive cards. I really love the Pokemon Center exclusives. So there was a recent one when the Kanazawa opened, and it's got Pikachu. It's got Pikachu in a kimono and some beautiful design on it. And that's only when a Pokemon Center opens. those exclusive cards given out, and they're given out for free. How great is
Mm.
that? And the Osaka one has, so I did used to live in Osaka, and it has some Manzai characters, some Pikachu doing Manzai. Manzai is a very famous
Oh, wow.
comedy in Osaka. So
Right.
they're really so regional to the area, and they're well thought out. And I just think they're so fun.
Yeah, especially those Pokemon Center cards. I get them and I never realize it when I go in there. Suddenly I'll get a card and be like, oh, here's a rare
Yes,
card that I never expected. Thank you.
I love the Pokemon centers here because you never know if you're going to get something free or not. Sometimes they like just don't announce that they're doing a like free sticker campaign or a free card campaign, and you'll just come in and you'll be like, "Oh my god, free card, free stuff, thank you."
So, like I mentioned earlier before, you have a Pokemon card themed Instagram.
I do.
What inspired you to create your Instagram account?
Really, well, I was collecting for a little while before that, and I was putting some of the content on my like regular Instagram. And my friends were like, your Instagram's becoming a bit Pokemon, Grace, and this is supposed to be for like fashion and other stuff. And I'm like, all right, I think I'll have to move it all over to its own like space. And
Mm,
it's very funny because I've got maybe like 2,500 followers on
mm,
my Pokemon Instagram, but about 500 on my regular Instagram. So the Pokemon one really sort of went off on its own and took off. And I kind of prefer making content for the Pokemon one now because there's such a community to it.
mm,
And I love reading people's comments and I love talking with people about collecting and people getting excited, and you can get excited together. And even though you're thousands of miles away, it definitely feels more together on Instagram.
mm. Yeah, that's true. So, what are some of the challenges you've had when it comes to maintaining a Pokemon card Instagram account?
Maintaining it's just like maybe like putting out content almost every day. That sounds like a lot, but if you're just taking a picture of a Pokemon card, and sometimes I'm very lazy with it, you can very easily put out Pokemon content every day, especially in Japan. Because here, you can go to the supermarket and a piece of bread will have a flippin' Pikachu on it. Like, it's very easy to make Pokemon content.
Mm,
And for me, I feel like there's not a lot of English speaking people making Pokemon content in Japan. And I feel like I want to show those things and share them with the world because there's a lot of Japanese accounts that do it, but they don't speak English and they don't really want English people, not English people specifically, but English speaking or foreign people following them because they don't understand the comments and it makes them a bit stressed. Because I was talking to one of the other girls I know who has a Pokemon Instagram. She's like, "Oh, all these foreigners followed me, and then they were asking me questions, and I couldn't answer any of them, and I blocked them all." Bless her, it just stressed her the heck out. So I feel like it's nice to be able to sort of give back to the community in that way and show things. Maybe I shouldn't talk too negatively because I do love my Instagram, but
mm,
sometimes it does attract people who are like, "I want to buy this off you, get this for
right,
me, do this for me." And then I never say that I'm going to get things for you or do things for you.
right.
But some people seem to expect that I will.
Mm.
I'm like, "I don't know you, stranger on the internet. You haven't even said hello and you've asked for something from me." I think people just assume I don't have a job or a life. And I have both of those things. I'm just posting a picture on Instagram. Please leave me alone.
Let's dig into our main topic, which is shopping for Pokemon cards in Tokyo and Japan. So, Graceon, as somebody who lives in Japan, where do you get your Pokemon cards?
Everywhere. I am only joking, but kind of everywhere. So previously I mentioned about convenience stores. Now, if you're very lucky, your local convenience store will have Pokemon cards, which is great, but you have to just sort of like look behind the counter for them. Or if you're feeling confident, just ask the staff, like, "Do you do Pokemon cards?" Because sometimes they do, and that's really great because that means you can just grab a little card pack on your way home or something. But generally, if there's like a big set coming out and I know I need to get it, like I gotta get it. Um, the big ones, obviously, the Pokemon Center, but they have a lot of lottery kind of systems going on at the moment. They don't want to overcrowd the stores, which is completely understandable. So you go there, you get a ticket, and you might get in, you might not. That's how the Yokohama's one's doing it at the moment. But they'll always have stock on the releases. It's the Pokemon centers that's really great, or the Pokemon stores. They're just very small Pokemon centers. I believe there's the DX in Tokyo. Then there's the Mega Center in Ikebukuro, and there's one in Tokyo Station, which is like in a character lane, which is really really cute because you've got all these other sort of character goods, Hello Kitty, One Piece, and then right at the end there's a small Pokemon store. I think those are the big three in Tokyo. And then you've got the Yokohama one, which is only about 40 minutes outside of Tokyo if you're more that way. And Osaka has two within like 5-minute train ride of each other, which I think is absolutely mad. But yeah, Pokemon centers are a good start. But if you're not confident you're going to get on their lottery, and you can obviously shop online for those ones as well, but they only ship to Japan. Yodobashi camera is great. Yodobashi camera has never failed me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just got to get there early. But I think I remember being like, I don't know, 100th in line once at Yodobashi camera. But they had like 500 boxes. They were like ready for the queue. They were ready. Yodobashi is like always really, really good. And having said Yodobashi, Bic camera is also all right. They tend not to have quite as much stock, or they'll be a little bit more limiting on their release days. Big camera's also all right. Yodobashi's probably a bit better. And then from that, smaller card shops, I would definitely recommend Card Secret in Ikebukuro. So you've got the Pokemon Center in Ikebukuro anyway. So if you're a Pokemon card fan, you're probably going to go in that area anyway. Right. And a little 5-minute walk out is Card Secret. And it is owned by an Australian guy called Andrew. And he's on Instagram. And honestly, he's the most knowledgeable. I don't know why you're talking to me. You should be talking to Andrew. He's the most knowledgeable man I've ever met on Pokemon in my life. And he runs this store, and he's got Japanese staff. And obviously, he speaks English himself as an Australian. And it's all just Pokemon. It's all Pokemon cards. And you're like, oh, I don't know. Have you got this specific card? And he's like, I can find that for you. Obviously, it's only in store, but Andrew, he will help you find the card, or like you'll be like, oh, can you just like find this one? If this one comes in, can you tell me next time I come in? And he's like, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Like, really, really nice, friendly staff. I'm good friends with one of the girls who works there. We go out and eat parfait together. Like, they're all just lovely people working at Card Secret, so totally recommend them. Other shops, good chain store, Hobby Station. Can't go wrong with the Hobby Station. There's another Ikebukuro, Akihabara, kind of everywhere. Same with Full Comp.
Yes.
They're really good for like, I get a lot of my reservations at Full Comp. They're very good at doing like pay in advance, and you just pick up your box on the day. They're really good at that. What's that? Card Box. That might just be Yokohama, but they're like Umbros with them. They're really cool. They always give me a really, really, really good price when I'm selling my cards. Even if it's got a little bit of damage on it, they'll be like, nah, we'll give you full price for it. It's all right. Really, really nice guys. You can do lots of reservations from them as well. All of these shops I've mentioned, apart from Yodobashi Camera and Big Camera, they all do have a like a battle space as well. So you can bring your decks in and play for free in their space, which is really, really nice as well. And they do tournaments and things if you're an avid card player as well. So I think those are some of my like top shops. But I would say if you're waiting for product, if you want to know when product is coming in, follow them on Twitter. Japan, be like, Twitter is king. Essentially, every time they want you to sell them cards and they have a good price for it, or they have stock coming in, it's immediately gonna go on Twitter before it goes anywhere else. Or you're just very lucky and you walk into the store at exactly the right time that they're selling something. Restocks are usually mentioned on Twitter. So find the shops you want to visit, follow their Twitter, keep a little eye on it while you're out and about. And you never know, they might be like, oh, we're going to start doing reservations for the new set Starbirth right now. And then you go and you're like, no, it's already sold out. I was too late. So you got to keep your eyes on the Twitter.
Have you ever visited some of these Akihabara-based shops, Cherumo? or Hareruya 2?
Oh, Hallelujah is pretty good. I'm not in Akihabara very often because, right, there's a saying, and I don't know if this is just because I'm in Ikebukuro a lot more because I work closer to Ikebukuro than I do to Akihabara. Not in Ikebukuro, I'm not working in Ikebukuro, but that's sort of closer for me to visit. Is Ikebukuro is for girls, Akihabara is for boys. And
That's very true.
it's very, very true. And I'm a girl, so I feel much more comfortable in Ikebukuro because
Mhm.
everything in Ikebukuro is designed for girls. So it's all like boys' idols and boys' love and boys everywhere in the shops. But you go to
Mm.
Akihabara and it's like naked anime girls on every wall. And this is designed for men. And Ikebukuro is designed for women. So I do
Yes.
tend to find myself in Ikebukuro much, much more than Akiba.
I've been into the Ikebukuro Animate, the anime store, and that is maybe the nicest smelling place I've been to in Japan because it's only women, so it's only perfume. So it's amazing.
Yes, you do find like the smell of the otaku women is fine. Sometimes the smell of the otaku men is questionable. And as much as I do love playing Pokemon cards in tournaments, it's usually me and 9 other men in a 10-person tournament. And some of them, they just need a shower. They just need a shower. Mostly they're fine and they're very kind and they're nice. And, I haven't met any particular weirdos or anything. I just want to wash some of these men.
What was your first impression when entering a Japanese card shop for the first time?
Ooh, good question. I found it a bit overwhelming, to be honest with you, because there's so many trading card games. There's so many like collectible cards in Japan that you can walk into a shop and it can be, for want of a better phrase, completely naked anime girls cards only.
Right.
And you're like, I just came here for a Pikachu and now I'm really uncomfortable.
Mm.
So you just kind of have to accept that when you go into a card shop, you might not be in the kind of card shop that you want to be in. And just be like, oh, okay, it's not for me. I'm going to walk out again and go to the next card shop in the next building or whatever, because Akihabara has so many. You can just sort of walk in anywhere and there's trading cards. But they tend to be very cramped sorts of spaces. So you have to be aware that, you might have to be a little bit careful with your bag that you're not knocking anything over as you walk past. And everything is in they call it showcase. So basically it is just like a plastic case. Then they'll unlock the door and say, I want this card, please, to the staff. And they'll be like, wakarimashita. And they'll open it up and get the card for you and then lock it up again. Because obviously they don't want people just coming in, putting a little card in their bag and walking out. So there's a lot of security involved in it. So I think that can be maybe a little bit overwhelming for someone who isn't so comfortable with Japanese, or if there's a particular card you're looking for. A lot of them cannot be super English friendly, but some of them are. Some of them are pretty good. I've been to a couple in Ikebukuro. Obviously, I said about Card Secret being almost entirely English.
Mm.
But Hobby Station have always been very friendly. I can speak Japanese, but I came with a friend who didn't have any Japanese and he was absolutely fine. He was very comfortable in Hobby Station as well. So it does depend on the shop, but they will welcome foreign people as well. It's not like, oh, no foreigners in my shop. They just might be a little bit like, oh my God, I can't speak English. This one, oh, okay, yeah. They'll try their best either way, but try not to be too overwhelmed if you don't have any Japanese ability.
Recently in Japan, there's been kind of a Pokemon card shortage.
Yes.
When did you first notice this? And do you think it will improve anytime soon?
Oh, that's a very good question. So this time last year, it sort of started around Matchless Fighters, which was, I believe that was kind of March time. Ichigeki Rengeki was a bit questionable as well with supply, and that was January last year. So I think it was really due to COVID more than anything, because a
Right.
lot of the Pokemon centers had to start doing timed entry to try and reduce numbers, and then they couldn't make enough product because they were having to do it as lottery online. And suddenly they found, because people can't get into the stores to get it, everybody wanted to buy it online. And then they couldn't make enough product online. And obviously a lot of Western people want to buy Japanese product because they can't get English product. So suddenly they're deciding, I want to get Japanese product. It's cheaper, quality is better. I can get this card before it's released in English. Great, I'll get Japanese because I can't find English. And then all these online orders start happening for the Pokemon Center, and they can't keep up. So there's no product in Japan because it's all going overseas. And there's nowhere to go in shops to get it because everyone tried to get it online, can't get it, rushes to the shop to get it. It's all sold out. Pokemon can't keep up with the printing. And it just ended up being like a desert of Pokemon cards. Especially when about the time of Eevee Heroes was like really bad, because I didn't get anything like online lotteries for that. You couldn't get into the store to get it. I was up at 6 a.m. to go to Yodobashi Camera to get one box because that was the limit. And then you couldn't find it again for months and months and months. It was like gold dust and going for sale online for ridiculous amounts. Like, it was very difficult for a while to find Pokemon cards. But now, like, we had something called a state of emergency. I don't know how much your listeners know about state of emergency, but once that was lifted, everything could open properly. And they really upped production, especially for this latest set, VMAX Climax. It's just product everywhere again, and it's so nice to see, and people can get out to the shops and get the physical product. And it's 3 boxes per person. Like, those sorts of numbers were unimaginable 6 months ago. Absolutely crazy to see now, which is really, really nice to be able to get product again. But some sets just never got reprinted. Matchless Fighters never got reprinted. The one with Rayquaza, which name I've completely forgotten now. It'll come back to me.
Skystream or something like that?
Skystream, that's it. Yeah, because there's Towering Perfection and Skystream. Nobody wants Towering Perfection. That's even available on the Pokemon Center online website. Nobody wants it.
It doesn't have Rayquaza, so why would you want to buy it?
It doesn't have exactly. But yeah, the Rayquaza one barely got reprinted, and I don't think they're going to print it again. So some things, they were just like, we have to keep the demand on certain products. So 2 years ago, 2020, I could go into the Pokemon Center and get one box, if I wanted, of every set that had been out in the past year. No problem. Product for days. Make your own Pokemon cards. Right. And last year was difficult for collectors. And I did like it when there was more product, because there's this scarcity mentality that, like, if I see a pack of Pokemon cards, I feel more desperate to buy it because I can't get it usually. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I want it. Like, it's just that, it's so hard to find, I need to get it. But now, because there is product, I can go into the Pokemon Center and think, I'm not buying any Pokemon cards today. I'm just having a look around, because there's no scarcity feeling when I see the cards.
I remember, especially last year, I think that was like the peak of it being, you couldn't buy it unless you got into a lottery. And I noticed a lot of smaller shops, they even had in their booster section, they had a special area only for elementary school children.
Yes.
If you're a kid, you want to just buy some Pokemon cards. But of course, a lot of the hardcore fans who are like online shopping, they get the cards for, kids to even have a chance. I've noticed that there's definitely been a big change in terms of like stock, but it seems to be getting much better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do remember you were talking about kids. There was a Yunagaba promo, or just like a Pikachu drawn, like, it's really funny promo. Like, I think it's really cute. But it was given out free when you spent over 1,000 yen at the Pokemon Center. And there was this massive long line in Yokohama, and just for this promo. And I was like, this is a bit mental. And when the doors opened, the idea of the line just went out the window when everybody rushed to get in. I've never seen Japanese people act like that in my life. If you've ever been to Japan, people listening, Japanese people are the politest people you'll ever meet, and they respect the line. Yes. But I've never seen Oh, it was like Black Friday or something. It was a national holiday when this came out, so there were lots of children in the line as well who were just excited to get a Pokemon card. And just remember this one child going, Kawaii, Kawaii, and started crying like, it's so scary, it's so scary. And I just think that's just not what Pokemon should be. It shouldn't be a scary experience for children. I really felt for this little boy who was just like, oh, Kawaii, it's so scary. It's just really sort of quite sad to see, to be honest. Like, adults are doing this. And I just looked around, I was like, oh, shaking my head.
What are you looking forward to in regards to Pokemon cards in 2022?
Ooh, in 2022. Well, I'm a big Glaceon fan. My name is Graceon. It's like a double pun because Japanese people can't pronounce the LR sound. So I thought that was quite funny. And when you say that to Japanese people, they're like, naruhodo ne. Like, I get it. But they don't seem, it's not as funny to them as it is to me.
Right.
And there's a Glaceon special Starburst birth set coming out, and I'm very excited for that because my favorite evolution rarely gets its own like special thing, so I'm really excited for that. But I'm not really sure. I'm just sort of interested to see where it's going because they're doing the new V Star rather than V Max. So I'm really interested to see how that mechanic is going to work when you play the game. And yeah, just excited to see the kind of new direction that they're kind of going in this year.
Do you think there's any chance of a Glaceon V Union?
I hope so. I just want all the Glaceons. But then again, I don't want any expensive Glaceons.
Right.
I'm a cheap kind of person. I don't want to pay overprice for the card that I love. That would be my biggest advice when it comes to collecting Pokemon cards. Collect a weird Pokemon. Collect a Pokemon that nobody cares about, and then all the cards you collect will be cheap.
Right.
If you're out there like, I'm going to collect all the Pikachus or I'm going to collect all the Eevees, well, then you have made a mistake, sir, for your bank account. Collect a weird Pokemon.
Don't be a Charizard fan for sure.
Oh, God. Charizard fan. Like, if you're like, I'm going to collect all the Charizards, just say goodbye to all your money ever. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not possible. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing.
Final question. I think I might know the answer, but what is your favorite Pokemon?
Maybe Glaceon. Now, I always say Glaceon. It's a good pun on my name as well. And I do love Glaceon. It is really cute. And then sometimes I really like Dedenne as well. It's the like little mouse Pokemon. It's really cute. I like a Pikachu. I like really cute Pokemon. Anything that's like, oh, I just want to squish that. I love it. But I'd probably have to say Glaceon and keep on brand. Glaceon all the way, 100% Glaceon. Never divert from the path of Glaceon.
Thank you very much for joining me today, Graceon. You are an amazing guest, I have to say. And you definitely know more about Pokemon cards than anyone I know. So hopefully a lot of people who are coming to Japan for the first time, they can use your advice for Pokemon card shopping.
I hope so. And really enjoy it and just go for it. And if you are coming to Japan for the first time, there's so much to enjoy and there's so much to do. And check out any special Pokemon events that might be happening. Sometimes there's like pop-up shops or that kind of thing, which are really exciting to go to as well, or events. There was a Pokemon Illumination event last year, which looked amazing, and I didn't get a chance to go, and I'm kicking myself forever for not going. But just check out any Pokemon events that might be going on as well if you're interested in Pokemon, because, wow, there's a whole world in Japan. There's a whole world of Pokemon.
So if people want to find more of you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I am Graceon Pokemon. And if it's easier to understand, it's Grace on Pokemon. So some people have called me Grace on Pokemon. I'm like, that's also fine if that's how you read that. But it is supposed to be Graceon Pokemon. But if you want to be Grace on Pokemon, I'm chill with that. I'm chill.
Yes, and I'll definitely link to all these social media accounts in the podcast description. So listeners, check it out there.